Hi everyone, I'm Yumu from Susan's family. Today, I'll teach you how to make the Retro Nostalgia series Datura shawl. This shawl consists of two parts, the main piece and the motifs. Let's start with the main piece. It includes the main fabric piece and the edging. The main fabric piece uses a motif starting method. Work back and forth. Several crochet stitches will be applicated, and they are all marked on the chart. I won't list them all here. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crochet method. Start with a slip knot. Take out the corresponding yarn. The color of the small sample is random. For specific yarn, the color scheme, and the hook size, please refer to the detail page of our product and the paper instructions. Begin by making a slip knot. Slightly tighten it. Then crochet 5 chain stitches. Don't make the chain stitches too tight. Then pick up the back loop of the 4th chain from the hook. Work 1 double crochet. After completing the double crochet, its height should be roughly the same as the chain stitches. We will treat these 4 chain stitches and 1 double crochet as one starting group. Continue with 1 chain stitch, 1 starting group. That is, 4 chain stitches and 1 double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. The starting pattern is complete. Continue with 1 chain stitch, then 1 starting pattern, skipping 1 chain stitch. Refer to the chart for the exact number of patterns. The number of patterns in the sample swatch is random. After completing the last starting pattern, work 1 chain stitch. This completes the starting chain. Next, crochet the first row. Read the chart from left to right. Start with 3 chain stitches as the turning chain for the double crochet. This counts as 1 double crochet, corresponding to this chain stitch. Continue with 1 chain stitch for transition. On the starting pattern below, pick up and work 1 double crochet. One chain stitch and 1 double crochet. We will consider these 2 double crochets and 1 chain stitch as one pattern A. Continue with 1 chain stitch for transition. In the middle of this chain stitch from the starting pattern, pick up 2 loops and work 1 double crochet. Continue with 1 chain stitch. On the next starting pattern, pick up and work 1 pattern A. This row involves working pattern A corresponding to the starting pattern. Work double crochets corresponding to the chain stitches, with 1 chain stitch for transition in between. Follow this method to complete the row. After completing the last double crochet, the first row is done. Move on to the second row. Refer to the chart from right to left. Start with 3 chain stitches as the beginning chain, corresponding to the double crochets below. 1 chain stitch for transition. Turn the workpiece counterclockwise. In the middle hole of the pattern A from the previous row, work 2 double crochets. One chain stitch and 2 double crochets. We will treat the stitches worked in the hole as one pattern B. Continue with 1 chain stitch for transition. Work 1 front post double crochet on the left double crochet. Yarn over. Insert the hook from right to left in front. Yarn over, draw through. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. Repeat this 2 times. After completing, it should be roughly level with the right side. The front post double crochet is completed. From now on, we'll call it a front post stitch. Continue with 1 chain stitch. Work pattern B corresponding to pattern A. Finish with 1 chain stitch. Work 1 front post double crochet corresponding to the double crochet. Yarn over, insert the hook from right to left in front. Hook 1 double crochet. The front post double crochet is completed. Take a look. This row involves working pattern B corresponding to pattern A. On individual double crochets, work a front post double crochet. In between, there is still 1 chain stitch for transition. Follow this method. Complete this row. After the last chain stitch is completed, hook 1 double crochet on the starting chain of the previous row. Pay attention to finding the second to last chain stitch. Pick up 2 loops and crochet. The second row is also completed. We will use the side with the clearer texture as the right side of the entire piece. This is the side where the starting chain yarn tail is on the right. Continue with the third row. Start with 3 chain stitches as the turning chain. 1 chain stitch for transition. Turn the work. Crochet 3 double crochets in the hole of pattern B. One chain stitch and 3 double crochets. We will consider these stitches as one pattern C. Continue with 1 chain stitch for transition. Below is the symbol for the front post double crochet. Since the chart shows the texture on the right side of the fabric, the wrong side requires you to crochet the opposite stitch pattern. Here, crochet a back post double crochet, yarn over, insert the hook from right to left behind the work to pick up the front post double crochet. Crochet 1 double crochet. Note, slightly enlarge the loop. The back post double crochet is completed. You can turn it over to check. It forms this continuous texture. From now on, we'll call it a back post stitch. Continue with 1 chain stitch. 1 pattern C. 1 chain stitch, 1 back post stitch, yarn over, insert your hook from right to left behind to pick up a front post double crochet, crochet 1 double crochet. The back post stitch is completed. Continue to crochet pattern C and back post stitches correspondingly. Chain 1 as a transition between them. Finish this row. After completing the last chain stitch, crochet 1 double crochet in the turning chain. Note, find the third chain stitch from bottom to top. Pick up these 2 strands and crochet. When crocheting into the turning chain later, make sure to find the topmost stitch of the turning chain. Row 3 is completed. Continue to crochet row 4. Start with 3 chain stitches as the turning chain. All subsequent turning chains will be 3 chain stitches. I won't go into detail for the rest. Chain 1 as a transition. Turn your work. Crochet 4 double crochets into the middle hole of pattern C. One chain stitch and 4 double crochets. We will treat the stitches crocheted into the hole as one pattern D. Continue with 1 chain stitch. Crochet 1 front post double crochet into the chain stitch from the previous row. Continue to crochet correspondingly. Pay attention to not missing the transition chain stitches. The last double crochet should be crocheted into the turning chain. Row 4 is completed. Now crochet row 5. Start with a turning chain. 1 chain stitch. Turn the work. Crochet 5 double crochets into the hole of pattern D. One chain stitch and 5 double crochets. Treat this as one pattern E. 1 chain stitch, 1 back post double crochet, one ch8 picket. First, crochet 8 chain stitches. Insert the hook into the front loop of the next stitch. That's the loop closest to you. And the next thread below. Work 1 slip stitch. Slightly tighten. 1 ch8 picket is completed. Continue with 1 chain stitch. 1 pattern E. One chain stitch. 1 back post stitch. 1ch8 picket. First, crochet 8 chain stitches. Then insert the hook into the front loop of the next stitch, and the next thread below. Work a slip stitch. Tighten. 1ch8 picket is completed. Continue alternating pattern E and back post stitches, with 1 chain stitch as a transition. Pay attention to working the ch8 picket stitches on the back post stitch. Finish this row. End with 1 double crochet. The 5th row is completed. Now you can measure the dimension of the fabric piece. Compare it with the data given in the pattern. If there is a significant difference, you need to adjust your tension and crochet again to avoid the wrong size. Continue with the 6th row. Start with a beginning chain. Turn the work. Hook 1 double crochet in the stitch under the turning chain. On the wrong side, the stitch is on the upper left. One chain stitch. Hook 1 pattern A in the hole of pattern E. One chain stitch. Hook 7 double crochets in the ch8 picket on the left side. Below, continue to hook pattern A, and this group of double crochets correspondingly. One chain stitch for transition. Finish this row. After completing the last chain stitch, hook 1 DC2 in 1 in the turning chain. That is, work 2 double crochets in the same stitch. The double crochet increase is completed. Row 6 is now finished. Move on to row 7. Start with a standing stitch. 1 chain stitch. Turn the work. Work pattern B in the corresponding stitch of pattern A. One chain stitch. In this group of double crochets, starting from the second stitch, work 5 back post double crochets correspondingly. Leave the first and last stitches unworked on both sides. One chain stitch. Continue to follow the chart to complete this row. Row 7 is completed. For the following rows, continue to follow the chart and work back and forth. In the pattern column, pattern A, pattern E, repeat crochet. Middle section. Work front post stitches correspondingly in this group of double crochets. Pay attention to the number of stitches in each row. Some rows require leaving one stitch unworked on both sides. Note that. On the right side, work front post double crochets. On the wrong side, work back post double crochets in the positions corresponding to the front post double crochet symbols. This creates the texture on the right side of the fabric. For some rows, don't forget to work a CH8 picket on the single crochet stitch. Additionally, between the motifs and the post stitches, the number of chain stitches varies. Make sure you don't crochet them incorrectly. Refer to the previous demonstration. Follow the chart to complete row 25. Now I will demonstrate row 26, using a small sample. Start with a slip knot. Chain 5 for transition. Turn the work. Work 1 single crochet in the 5th hole of the motif. Chain 9. Work 1 single crochet in the stitch of the post on the left side. Chain 9. Repeat this process, corresponding short needle by short needle, with 9 chain stitches for transition in between. Complete this row. After the last single crochet is done, chain 5. Finish with a double crochet. Row 26 is completed. Continue with row 27. Start with a beginning chain. Turn the work. Work 1 double crochet in the double crochet below. Chain 3. Work pattern A in the single crochet. Chain 1. Work 3 double crochets in the chain space on the left side. Continue following the chart. Finish with a double crochet increase. Row 27 is completed. Continue working back and forth. The stitch techniques between patterns are slightly different from before. Pay attention to following the chart while crocheting. Do not cut the yarn after completing the last row. That concludes the explanation for crocheting the main piece. Next, we will learn how to crochet the edging for the main piece. Crochet around the edge of the fabric. The new stitch technique used is the slip stitch, CH3 picket, and a back post half double crochet. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crochet method. Start with the first round. I will continue demonstrating with a small sample. Pick up the yarn from the end of the main piece. Crochet 3 chain stitches. Work 1 slip stitch into the edge of the second to last row. The oval-shaped slip stitch does not need to be tightened. Continue with 3 chain stitches. Slip stitch into the edge of the next row. Continue slipping stitching along the edges of each row. In between, use 3 chain stitches as a transition. After completing the slip stitch on the first row edge, 3 chain stitches into the corresponding chain stitch of the beginning stitch, which is the chain stitch on the right side of the starting pattern. Pick up 2 loops and work 1 single crochet. Work 4 double crochets into the hole on the left side of the starting pattern. One ch3 picket. First, work 3 chain stitches. Pick up the front half of the stitch below and 1 loop from below. Work 1 slip stitch. 1 ch3 picket is now completed. In the same hole, work 3 double crochets. We will treat the stitches worked in this hole as a fan shape. Continue at the position of 1 chain stitch on the left side. Insert the hook into the hole and work 1 single crochet. You can do this on either side. In the next pattern hole, work 1 fan pattern. First, work 4 double crochets. Then, work 1 ch3 picket. Start with 3 chain stitches. Pick up the front half of the stitch below, and 1 loop from below, then slip stitch. 1 ch3 picket is now completed. Continue with 3 more double crochets. Work 1 single crochet on the left side. Repeat this process to complete the pattern set. After completing the last single crochet, 3 chain stitches. Continue picking up and slip stitching along the edge on the side. Use 3 chain stitches as a transition between each. You can weave in the yarn tail for the starting chain at the same time. After completing the slip stitches on the edge of the second to last row, 3 chain stitches. Work 1 single crochet in the last turning chain. Work 1 single crochet in the left chain space. Work 10 double crochets in the left pattern D space. Work 2 chain spaces on the left side. Work 1 single crochet in each. Work 10 double crochets in the next pattern D space. Repeat this process as you work down. Work 1 single crochet in the last space. Work 1 single crochet in the top of the last double crochet. Join with a slip stitch in the beginning chain space. Slightly tighten. The first round is complete. Move on to the second row. Start with 1 chain stitch. Turn your work. The next symbol represents a back post half double crochet. Here, you will work the opposite stitch on the wrong side. Work a front post half double crochet, yarn over. Insert your hook from the front into the left side of the double crochet. Work 1 half double crochet. The front post half double crochet is completed. Continue to insert the hook into the double crochets. Correspondingly, make front post half double crochets. Work 1 slip stitch when completed. Slip stitch in the left single crochet. Chain 3. Slip stitch again in the same stitch. Work 1 slip stitch. In the next group of double crochets, correspondingly make front post half double crochets. Work 1 slip stitch when completed. Work 1 slip stitch in the left single crochet. Chain 3. And 1 slip stitch. Work 1 slip stitch. Repeat this process. Refer to the chart. Crochet the second to last single crochet on the other side. When you reach the corresponding position, work 1 slip stitch in the ending single crochet. Row 2 is completed. Cut the yarn. Secure with 1 slip stitch. Leave a 5 cm tail and cut the yarn. Pull tight. Hide it on the wrong side. That completes the edging. The main part has also been explained. Next, we'll learn about the motifs, according to the order of connecting the side motifs. They are Motif 1, Motif 2, Motif 3, and Motif 4, Motif 5, Motif 6, Motif 7, and finally add Motif 8 and Motif 9. Here, except for Motif 8 and Motif 9, which are complete motifs, they are sewn on last. All other motifs need to be joined with the edging in the final round. The specific joining method and position are as follows. You can refer to the chart, or adjust according to your preference. Just make sure the final connection results in a symmetrical and aesthetically pleasing style. Note that some colorway motifs use variegated yarn for crocheting. Starting with different color segments will result in different effects. Everyone can choose based on their own preference. First, learn Motif 1. Using the adjustable magic ring method, crochet in rounds counterclockwise. Many new stitches are used, so I won't list them all here. Please watch me demonstrate the specific crochet method. First, start with an adjustable magic ring. Then chain 3, which counts as 1 double crochet. In the large space of the magic ring, crochet 11 more double crochets. After completing, close the magic ring. Then, in the third chain of the starting chain, which is the chain adjacent to the right of the double crochet stitch, pick up 2 loops and slip stitch to connect. The solid dot in the circle indicates that the slip stitch needs to be pulled tight. This does not count as one stitch. That completes the first round. Move on to round 2. Since this round involves chaining, to make the starting chain less noticeable, we can secure the yarn first. Then, insert the hook into the gap on the right side of the starting chain. And pull the yarn through the gap on the left side. Draw the yarn through. Chain 3, which counts as 1 front post double crochet. Then, chain 1. Next, on the left side of the double crochet stitch, work 1 front post double crochet. The method is the same as for a regular double crochet, it's just the insertion point that's different. On the right side, insert the hook into the gap on the right side of the double crochet stitch, and pull the yarn through the gap on the left side. Work the stitch. The front post double crochet is completed. Chain 1. Next, on the left side of each double crochet stitch, work 1 front post double crochet, hook 1 chain at the end of each row. Complete this round. After completing, pick up 2 strands of yarn in the third chain from here and slip stitch to connect. That completes the second round. Continue to the third round. Start by slipping into the left side chain space. The solid oval indicates that the slip stitch should not be pulled too tight. This essentially transitions the yarn to the chain space position. Then, directly hook 4 chains. Then work 1 front post double crochet followed by 3 bobble stitch variations. First, insert the hook into the front post double crochet below. Work 3 incomplete front post double crochets simultaneously. The insertion point is the same as for the front post double crochet. After completing, yarn over, pull the yarn through the first 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over again, and pull through all loops at once. This completes the variation stitch. Next, work 1 chain stitch. Work 1 double crochet into this chain space. Work one more chain stitch. Next, starting from this variation stitch, repeat this sequence of stitches. For the last variation stitch, work it into the beginning chain. After completing, work one more chain stitch. Join with a slip stitch. That completes the third round. Continue to the fourth round. The beginning is the same as the second round. First, secure the yarn. Then, draw the yarn through like this. Next, work 7 chain stitches. Then, work a FPDC2 tog. That means working an incomplete front post double crochet into the beginning chain and the double crochet on the left side. Then, yarn over, pull the yarn through all loops at once. That's a FPDC2 tog. Next, work 4 chain stitches. Starting from this decrease. Repeat this stitch pattern. Continue all the way down to the last 4 chain stitches. When completed, continue on this double crochet and work 1 front post double crochet. Then, slip stitch into the third chain from the hook. That completes the fourth round. Continue to the fifth round. Start with 1 chain stitch. Slip stitch into the hole on the left side. Bring the yarn roughly to the middle of the hole. Then, make 3 chain stitches. Work 2 double crochets into the hole. Next, work 6 double crochets into each hole. At the end, work 3 double crochets into the starting hole. Once completed, slip stitch to join. That completes the 5th round. Continue to the 6th round. Make 1 chain stitch. Then, in the turning chain, work 1 back post single crochet. The technique is the same as a single crochet, but the insertion point is different. Insert the hook from the right side of the gap on the back of the turning chain. Insert the hook into the gap on the left side. Work the stitch. This is the back post single crochet. In the next 2 double crochets on the left side, work 1 back post single crochet in each. Once completed, in the FPDC 2 tog on the bottom, work 1 front post treble crochet, yarn over twice. Pick up the decrease like this. Pull the yarn through. Yarn over on after another. Draw the yarn through the first 2 loops on the hook. Repeat 3 times. The front post treble crochet is completed. For the rest of this round, work a back post single crochet in each of the next 6 double crochets. Work a back post single crochet in each of the next 6 double crochets. After completing 6, work 1 front post treble crochet in the decrease below. Work 1 front post treble crochet in the decrease below. Follow the pattern chart. Complete this round. Finally, slip stitch join in the starting stitch. The 6th round is now complete. Move on to the 7th round. Chain 3 at the beginning. In the same position, where you just made the slip stitch join, work 2 double crochets. After completing them, chain 1. Then, in the front post treble crochet below, work 1 variation of FPHDC 3 puff stitch. That means insert the hook as a front post stitch. Work 3 incomplete half double crochets. Then yarn over, and pull the yarn through all the loops on your hook, leaving 1 loop on the hook. Yarn over again, and pull the yarn through all the loops at once. This completes the variation stitch. Chain 1 more. Below, skip 3 stitches. And in the 4th stitch, work 4 double crochets together. Next, starting from this chain stitch, repeat this stitch pattern. After completing the last chain stitch, in the starting stitch, work 2 double crochet, then join with a slip stitch. That completes the 7th round. Continue to the 8th round. First, chain 3, then work 2 FPDC onto the beginning chain below. Next, work a variation of FPDC2 tog. That means, first, in the adjacent long stitch on the left side, work an incomplete front post double crochet. Then, in the first long stitch on the left here, work another identical incomplete front post double crochet. Next, yarn over, and draw the yarn through the first 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over again. Pull through. This variation stitch is now completed. On the next DC, work 2 front post double crochets. Five chain stitches. 2 FPDC into the next DC. Then, from this variation stitch, repeat this stitch pattern. After you finish the FPDC 2 in 1, chain 2, and join in the beginning chain, with working 1 DC, the 8th round is completed. Continue to the 9th round, chain 3, then, work 3 double crochets in the hole. After completing this, work 1 FPDC 4 tog, which means work 1 incomplete front post double crochet on each of the 3 FPDC stitches and the beginning chain. Do not work in the middle position, where the stitch changes. Yarn over and pull through. 1 FPDC 4 tog is complete. Continue working 8 DC in the chain space. And finish this round. Refer to the pattern. Make a slip stitch. And the 9th round is done.